thanks to Amy introducing me, but I'm going to introduce an icon, basically, who was with us on the first edition of Future Innovation Summit. A leading Romanian high-altitude climber. He reached 8,000 meter summits, and his profile is so long that I had to cut snippets out of it and just to make it very short in order to keep it short and sweet so that we can introduce him. Well, for him, climbing mountains outside is climbing mountains inside. Recipient of the 2008 gold medal for merit in sport in Spain, he was awarded twice, not only once, but twice, the Romanian Sportsman of the Year by the Romanian Federation of Mountaineering and Sport Climbing, and nominated twice for more, that's the same award. He was listed as a 30 under 30 honorary of Forbes Romania, and he got the 2015 special award as well for activism from the Civil Society Development Foundation as well. Well, the list goes on with his achievements. Alex has a long time involvement and commitment to series of environmental causes, which is a great achievement on his portfolio as well. After surviving the earthquake and the Everest avalanche on April 25th in 2015, together with his team, he initiated Joy for Nepal. What a great achievement that is, ladies and gentlemen. Round of applause to Alex Gavan. Welcome him on the stage, ladies and gentlemen.
Vârful Gasherbrum I, 35 de metri. A mea încercare asupra acestui vârf. Gasherbrum I aici, care l-am urcat în premieră românească în 2007. Și panorama munților Karakorum. Ce golisă chiar. Gasherbrum 4, Mustak Tower. Și revenim iarăși la Broad Peak, pe care l-am urcat în 2014 și K2. Alex Gavan, ca de obicei, fără oxigen, fără șerpași. Nici nu știu ce zi este astăzi.
This was the place where I have touched the heaven with my hand, and then the heaven touched my soul with his infinity. And now I'm bringing down the energy, the high vibration and spirit of this place to you. And thus, I further share the gifts that I've been blessed with. And all of these are getting more and more enriched as I'm forward paying them. For 7 times, I stood without using supplemental oxygen on the very top of the highest mountains in the world, the 8,000-meter larger-than-life giants. That was a story about how, for me, Climbing the mountains outside is climbing the mountains inside. And now, it is a story about how I use the best stage possible, the summits of those very world's highest mountains, to advance environmental and social causes. Why is that? Because for me, those summits are simply the greatest place where I can be seen. And while up there, I just become the greatest billboard possible. Today, from the summits of the Himalayas to the very bottom of a fairy tale-like but endangered valley deep in the Carpathian Mountains, I'm using this billboard to making you all part of an unfolding journey. None of us have seen living dinosaurs. You'd be surprised to find out that among us, there is someone who really did see them. Please meet our brother, the Asprete. Coming from the very depths of time, the Asprete is staring at us with its huge, hypnotizing eyes. A truly ancient being, the Asprete is. A living fossil, contemporary with the lost dinosaurs walking on this earth. He has an age of over 65 million years old. If we thought of the Asprete as a 100 years old human, our species will be almost 4 months old, merely a toddler that cannot even stand on its own feet. And contrary to what you'd be tempted to think, this is not a story about a fish, but rather a story about us all. His very name includes us all. As prete. The fragile and priceless barometer of the sanity of our society and the health of our civilization. He was a witness of our birth as a species on this planet, and now, in complete silence, he's a baffled witness of what might be our own extinction. Biologists hail him as probably the rarest fish in the world. Right now, there are only about 10 to 15 of its kind remaining, according to the last data of the Ministry of the Environment. He lives in Romania, and his finding was considered so unique, that he was given the name of this country, Romanichthys vlsanicola. Today, his habitat has shrunk to a time capsule of only around 5 kilometers along the river of Vlsani in the Transylvanian Alps. When in 1956 he was discovered by Nicolae Stoica, a student of biology, he was still roaming the waters of 2 other rivers, Argeș and Doamnei. But he is now completely extinct out of those 2. The fish has been declared a monument of nature, and he's also included by the Berna Convention on the list of the critically endangered species. His habitat is under 2 forms of legal protection: a Nature 2000 site and Valea Vâlsanului Nature Reserve. But, you know, despite all this, and mainly because of the unsustainable way of running the hydroelectric power plants, by not letting the proper water flow on the river, but far from exclusively to eat, the asprete is living now his last second of his existence on this earth. How can this even be possible? We are now in full speed era of Anthropocene, the time of human beings that by their actions become capable of globally influencing the ecosystems and the climate. Overwhelming scientific data testify to the fact that we are now just in the middle of a new mass extinction. And this time, this extinction is started and accelerated by Homo sapiens. And this includes us all, by our own attitude towards the planet and by our own habits and consumption behavior. Over the last 40 years, 60% of all the vertebrate animals have been wiped out. As I'm having this talk now in front of you, while you are watching me, every hour, somewhere, one species disappears. Every hour, 3 species disappear. Every day, up to 150 species of insect, plant, bird, and mammal are gone forever, according to scientists. And getting back to fish and to the rivers, the most endangered ecosystems in the world are the freshwater ecosystems. And over the last 50 years, no less than 83% of all the fish populations disappeared. It was Thursday, July 29, 2021, when we as mankind finished all the resources our planet could generate for the year. No earlier than 20 years ago, this date was about 2 months earlier. But globally, we are now all eating up 1.75 planets.